Start recording right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2, season 2 of the Moto Vibe Show. I'm here with Freddie Noren, a rider in the 450 class this year. Freddie, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thank you. Just hanging out, just getting ready for the weekend. Oakland
Yeah,
this
man.
weekend, so just chilling.
So you're in the West Coast still, just staying there for the West Coast races?
Yeah, we'll be out here the whole time. So it's me and my family. So I have 2 daughters and my wife, and actually grandma's with us. And then we have great friends out here, and we're staying at their place. Cole Racing, Chris Cole and Jan Cole. So we'll be out here the whole time for 6 weeks. It makes more sense to just stay here rather than flying back and forth. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Definitely nice. Let's get straight to it. A1 season opener, it was pretty hectic, as we were talking about before we started recording. You were found in some situations that were not expected. In the heat race, Muskin did take out Cade Clayson, and that gave you an advantage on the final lap. Sorry, Cade, for that one if you're watching later. But tell me how your day went. Explain what went down in the heat, because we didn't get to see you go across the finish line. So yeah, just give us a little run through of that.
So the day started out not like super good. Like I wasn't really putting any good lap times in. I was feeling pretty good, but my lap times weren't that great. But I wasn't too concerned about it because I know I'm more of a racer than a time qualifier. But obviously that set me up for not a great gate spot for the heat race. But I had a decent start in the heat race, and was fairly slow the first 2 laps. I wasn't aggressive enough, and I got passed by A-Ray and Cade, Josh Hill, a few guys, and that it really put me outside of that top 9, which you need to be to qualify. Was able to get Josh Hill back a couple laps later, and then kept a good pace. Started to gain a little bit on A-Ray and Cade, but Muskin had gone down early in the heat race, so he passed me like 2 laps or 3 laps ago on the heat race. And at this point, A-Ray would have been 8, Cade 9, Muskin 11, and me 12.
Yep.
And then I'm not sure what happened to A-Ray. He went down.
I think him and Cade actually collided.
Okay, yeah. So he went down. So that gave me a free spot. And then I kind of just kept a good pace and stayed in it. You never know when or if something will happen. Then it did happen. Muskin got together with Cade in the last corner, and Cade went down pretty hard, it seemed like, and I could kind of just stroll on through and get that 9th spot. So got a little free pass into the main with that, but I rode really well. So, but I'm not sure if Marvin actually knew he was in 9th when that happened. I wonder if he thought he was in 10th. So, but anyways, it worked out well for me because I didn't have to go through the LCQ. But yeah, I was riding really well in the heat, so it was nice to be able to go straight to the main in the heat race and skip the LCQ.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I feel like there's so many fast privateers now. You obviously, you got Clayson, Ray, Chisholm, so it's like you don't want to go to that LCQ because it just gets so hectic.
Oh yeah.
Even this weekend, Kroos and Brees at the end, there's just unexpected things that happen. Kroos went from 3rd to 5th in a matter of 30 seconds. So is that something that you try to focus on? I know some privateers are like, all right, I need to get it out through the main. Are you more, all right, let's get it done with the heat? Or are you preparing for the LCQ?
Oh no, I mean, I definitely don't prepare for the LCQ. I know there's a possibility I would go there, and like you said, the class is amazingly stacked. You have like 18 factory guys.
Yeah,
I think
that's crazy.
So yeah, so which would leave 4 spots for non-factory guys, and you still have some really good teams that aren't factory and some really fast riders. So obviously the LCQ is something that could happen, and there's always going to be really fast guys in the LCQ. But no, I focus on heat race for sure. I don't want to go to the LCQ. I don't want to take any chances. on
Yeah.
being in there. And yeah, I mean, you saw the hecticness this weekend in the LCQ with Big Al, and then the battle with Yuan Cross and the Breeze, and just all of those battles. I'd rather stay away from that because it's, everyone's going all out. No one wants to, you're not going to give up a spot for the main. So
Right.
yeah, it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, you made it out of the heat. You got to the main. Talk to me about the main. How you felt? I believe you finished a P20, right?
Yeah, 20th. I was riding really well in the main as well. I was feeling like, and then it was really up until we started getting lapped. I'm very cautious when we start getting lapped, and I give up a little more time than I really should. And I feel like me and Kay, we rode together all weekend. I guess maybe because we've been practicing in club together. But so he passed me when there was a couple laps left and bumping down to 20th spot. But which doesn't sound very impressive to be 20th, but considering the class and first race A1, I was happy with it. So my goal was to make the main, and I did that, and I got 3 points. So I'll
Yeah,
take that, and there's definitely something to build and improve on.
definitely. Like I said, it's especially this year, it's such a big accomplishment to make the main event as a privateer. Do you consider this like a big confidence booster on throughout the rest of the year for you to make it in the first round, which is, I'd say most people would say as well, the most stacked round because majority of the class is healthy. There's a few guys hurt, like Benny Bloss. 250 guys are getting hurt right now, but typically you see a lot of factory guys go down. So I believe this is the most stacked race. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, there aren't really a lot of guys out in the 450 class right now. You do have Benny, who's out, but he's replaced by Josh Hill, and Josh Hill, he's a fast guy too. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely confidence booster being able to get it done in the first race, and hopefully I can be in the A practice next time and ride with those guys and kind of build off of that, knowing that you can do it or I can do it. Is for sure a good mental thing for me. So no, definitely.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Something just to not go super off topic, but we have seen you like strive in the outdoors throughout your career. With coming back into Supercross, what do you tend to like more, Supercross or outdoor tracks?
Uh, you know what? It's a lot of people ask me that, and it's just different. Supercross is kind of like a different sport. I mean, obviously we race dirt bikes and it's on two wheels, and it's similar, but it's very different at the same time. And
Right.
um, I love both. I grew up racing motocross. That's what we do in Europe. Growing up in Sweden, I'd never seen a supercross track until I came to America.
Mhm.
So jumping doubles and triples and whoops and stuff like that is something I've learned or started doing later in my career. So like I love Supercross. It's so much fun. But I still have that, you know, love to motocross as well because that's what I grew up doing.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to say what I like better. I love them both. Supercross is
Yeah.
new and exciting, and it's a lot of fun. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I totally get that. And this year you are on a KTM, but throughout your career we've also seen you on a Suzuki. I believe you're on one other bike, weren't you? Or no?
Yeah, I've been on Hondas for a long time,
Hondas.
and then Suzuki, and then I was on Cali a little bit, and now on KTM.
So would you say KTM is your favorite right now?
Yeah, I really like it. I struggle with it some in the summer, but I know it's a great bike, and we worked on it and make it fit for me. And I'm learning the bike more, so I really like it right now. We got a great package. It handles well, so I like it a lot.
That's great, man. And like we said, this is a big confidence booster on the season for you. What is, it's a new year. What is your goal for this season? Make every main, finish a certain area and points. Every rider has their own goal.
Yeah, so a broad goal is I want to race 17 rounds. I've had that goal for the last 2 years to race 17 rounds, and I haven't accomplished it yet with the injuries and stuff like that. So race 17 rounds, obviously make all the mains is what I want to do. I feel like that's
Right.
where I should be and where I can be. And then as far as position in the main, just race the best to my ability. And I think as the season goes on and I start progressing, I should be able to start climbing up in the positions and hopefully be in the top 15 or being in placing top 15s in the main by the end of the year. What's the
Yeah.
year.
No, that would be awesome. And you spoke on injuries, and I also spoke on it as well. Injuries are happening throughout the season, but since 2020, it's not just injuries, it's COVID. Someone gets COVID, they're out for 1 to 2 rounds, maybe 3, depending on how their body takes it. What is it like being a supercross racer, having to deal with COVID on the outside? Do you have to be a little safer than usual? Last year I was talking to Josh Cartwright, and they were discussing how you have to pay for COVID testing as a privateer. Um, so talk to me about what the difficulties with COVID and racing are like for you.
Yeah. As far as doing the testing, it's not hard to do the tests. Obviously, there's some expense there, especially when you have multiple people, coming through in your team. So as a privateer, that's for sure an extra challenge, finding more funding for that. As far as, I'm generally always pretty cautious during this time of year with being at certain places and trying to stay away from getting sick in general, because whether COVID or not, this is kind of the flu season to begin with, so being sick in general is not good. But yeah, like you said, if you test positive, you might miss a race, and if you have to fly there and you miss the race, you don't get any any income back from that race and whatnot. So that would make it challenging. I haven't tested positive for COVID, and as far as I know, I've never had it. So
That's great. Yeah.
And hopefully it'll stay that way. But in general, like I'm not necessarily changing anything compared to COVID or not COVID. The other challenge, I guess, with COVID is you only get 4 people in total coming into your pits, including the rider and the mechanic. So that only really leaves 2 people left that I could bring in. So right now I have my wife and my kid on there, but actually I have my grandma on there. But if I have sponsors and stuff like that that wants to come, I can't bring them in, or it's a challenge. I have to switch people out because I only get 4 people, or I have a video guy that I want to bring in and I can't bring him in. And so it's a challenge that way, I would say, trying to figure out what people I can bring in and at each event to, do what I need to do.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. And, as you said, a goal for this year is to complete 17 rounds of Supercross racing. The deal that you're on right now with the KTM, does that extend over to outdoors as well, or are you only doing Supercross this year?
Well, it's really I put the program together with some amazing sponsors. So we'll race as long as we want. The goal and plan is to do Supercross and motocross, but it all depends on how things can come together. So as far as for me at the moment, I focus on Supercross, and as we get closer to motocross, and we'll start focusing on that as well. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. We were talking about for majority of this interview so far, A1 was hectic. Did you have a chance to watch like the replay of the whole 450 main event?
I haven't watched the whole 450 main event. I started watching a little bit today, but I zoned out actually at the 450 main. So, I watched some highlights and stuff like that, and it seemed like it was fairly hectic up there as well.
Yeah,
Some craziness going on.
there was definitely some hecticness, and we talked about Marv and the Cade Clayson collision in the heat. Marv was definitely a major factor in what was going on in the main event as well. You know, you've had factory rides before. You've been up there. What is like what goes through your mind when you're on those top spots? Obviously you were a top 10 rider in the outdoors when you were on that JGR ride. So what's that all like?
Um, you know, being a factory rider is awesome. You get everything set up for you. You don't have to worry about bikes or anything like that, which is really nice. And you know you're on the best equipment you can be on. But it definitely puts some pressure on you to perform. If you don't perform on the factory bike, you don't really get looked at very good. So definitely puts some pressure to that. I've had some amazing team managers that I've ridden for that didn't put much pressure on me necessarily because they know or knew the type of pressure that us riders put on ourselves to begin with. But yeah, as a racer, you always want to perform, and it gets more once you have that factory ride underneath of you. So, but yeah, I'd rather be factory than privateer, to put it that way.
Yeah, definitely, man. You're definitely on the right track for that. Especially when making the first main. Not a lot of privateers can say that. So it's definitely a big accomplishment. So what's the family up to for the next few weeks on the West Coast? You guys have any fun plans outside of the racing?
Um, at the moment, not really. We're just hanging out. Well, I'm sure we'll go do something. We used to live on the West Coast, so we've done and seen a lot of things out here in California already. But I'm sure we'll go do something during the weeks and take the kids to do something fun. But really just training and riding and hanging out and recovering and racing. So we're all in. So
Yeah, man. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Reese, who couldn't make it today, also wishes you the best of luck, but best of luck from Moto Vibes. I'm sure we'll keep in touch, but be safe with COVID, be safe with riding. Would you like to thank any sponsors right now?
yeah, no, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate that. And yeah, dude, there's a lot of people in my corner that I'm thankful for. Starting with my family, I have an amazing wife and who's extremely supportive. She's a bigger Moto fan than I am, so I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. And then Cole Racing, Brown's RV Superstore is a new title sponsor that just came on. So I'm pumped on that. EQ CBD, Integrity Electric, KTM's been cool as well. 60 helmets, X-Brand goggles, FXR, EVS knee braces, CD boots, and I have a lot of awesome part sponsors as well. So just everyone who's come on board and making this program work, I'm greatly thankful for that.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on. We'll get this video up soon. We'll keep in touch with you, and thank you for coming again.
All right, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Freddie.